Okay, hi there. So allow me to introduce myself. I'm Nick, and Nick is my first name. It's not given by my parents. It's a name that I made for myself when I was Form 1. My actual Chinese name is Wong, which Wong is actually my family name. So a little bit about myself, that I'm from Hong Kong, and it's one of the cities in the southern part of mainland China, and you're going to know about exact locations later on. And something about me is, you see that I speak English just like you, and I also speak, of course, because it's from China, I speak Chinese. But the Chinese that I'm speaking is not the Chinese that you're thinking, perhaps, because there are like maybe around more than, I don't know, maybe 100 different dialects in mainland China. So I'm basically speaking one of the major dialects spoken in the southern sides of Hong Kong, southern sides of China. That's what we call Cantonese in Hong Kong. And I am actually from Hong Kong, though my parents were from Shanghai, so I do also know a bit of Shanghainese, but Shanghainese and Cantonese are not the official language of mainland China, which the official language is indeed Mandarin in your term, or in our term, which we call Putonghua, because again it's a little bit different. You notice that why I'm going to talk about all these languages, because that's the topic that we're going to talk about today. Just to surprise you a little bit more, that is, people in Hong Kong write Chinese differently than those who are in mainland China. While we write traditional Chinese characters, they use simplified Chinese characters, which, just as the name implies, is a lot more simplified in terms of the number of strokes. Or in other words, if you have to copy, or if your teachers in primary school, secondary school punish you by copying some sort of Chinese sentence for like 100 times, you have a little bit more advantage in doing such thing in simplified Chinese in secondary school. So that's pretty much like it. You're going to see a lot more example later on. And so I hope that do explain a little bit about my slightly interesting linguistic language background. I'll let you more about that. So that's it, and I'll talk to you later again. Well, I have been hoping to do this for a long time, just like a while ago. So I'm just going to let you know where Hong Kong is. So of course you know that this is Australia in here, and Hong Kong is basically one of the major cities in the mainland China. So you can see a small dot over here, that is the location of Hong Kong. And Hong Kong is a place with 7 million residents, and most people, of course, are Chinese. But unlike most part of the China, that they do speak several languages, like English, of course, Chinese, but Chinese we have different varieties. Well, they speak Cantonese as their mother tongue, but they also receive their educations on Putonghua as well. So I'm just going to let you see. Let me show you very quickly how my place look like and the language features that you can see in Hong Kong, or my university. University is a very different place compared to other sides of Hong Kong. Now, you can see there are Chinese elements in here. There are also English elements in here. Notice are sometimes mainly in English, but sometimes bilinguals like this one. But the interesting part is not everything is black and white on Chinese or English. Now, what is interesting about the language features is you can see that both Chinese and English are written in here. Some are just translation like this one, that you got the Chinese and the English name of it, but some that you can see in interesting features like this one. In Hong Kong, it's quite common that you can see both Chinese and English are blended together. Now in Hong Kong, you see both type of writing system of Chinese in Hong Kong, the traditional Chinese writing and the simplified Chinese writing. But then the common one that we receive in school is the traditional Chinese writing, whilst the simplified one is actually the one that is not used in Hong Kong, but used in mainland China. This writing system was founded during the around, I think, 1960s, when the Chinese government wanted to improve the literacy rates of people in China. So they think of maybe we could try to simplify the writing, because originally, as you can see, like this one, this characters in Chinese means complicated. The traditional Chinese characters is a complicated body word that has a very complicated writing. So they try to use a simplified version, which these characters refers to simplify. So let me just give you an example, like what does it look like for a traditional Chinese characters. Take this as an example, the word love. You can see love has many different strokes. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 strokes in here, and that's how traditional Chinese was written. With also one special component that you can see, we have a heart component in here, that if you write separately, this is the Chinese characters of heart. So most people say, oh, love characters is a character with heart inside. That means love. But another one that you can see is like this one, is the simplified Chinese. Well, you can see that the simplified Chinese, we only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 3 strokes less than the previous one. And you can also see a character without the heart component in it. And if I put it side by side, so you will see that this is indeed taken out, so that it is being simplified. And that's what we say is called simplified Chinese. While most people think that, oh, okay, the characters is just simplified, advocates of traditional Chinese characters, these group of people would say that the Chinese traditional writing is indeed the correct type of writing. This characters refers to correctness, while these simplified Chinese characters, from a point of view of these users, they think that it's just a broken type of writing. But again, there is just one kind of point of view that you can try to think about for people in Hong Kong, because people are writing this way. Most of the time that you will hear these two type of ways to refer to traditional Chinese character and simplified Chinese character as the correct type or the broken type. So I hope that after the video you get to know a little bit more about our writing system and the languages that we speak in Hong Kong: English, Chinese in Cantonese, and Chinese in Putonghua.